For our mini class today, we'll be on the mat, so lying or sitting. We're going to start lying down. And our theme this week is fire. And we are focusing on the third chakra, the area around the solar plexus. So we'll start out lying down and coming into some awareness of this area. So you can lie down on your mat or whatever you've got handy. And bring your hands onto the area of the solar plexus. So if you find the bottom of your rib cage and you follow it up to where the ribs meet, this is the solar plexus. You can bring a hand or both hands onto this area to bring some awareness there. And as you're breathing, you don't have to breathe in any special way. Just see if you feel any kind of movement in this area, your breath. Really focus on softening with your exhalation. Feel the bottom part of your ribs coming down into the earth a little more firmly as you exhale. And just simply noticing what you feel around this area of the rib cage as you breathe in. So you might feel lots of movement, you might feel a little movement, you might feel very little movement. Whatever you discover is absolutely right. You're just taking note as you're exhaling, feeling a sense of dropping through the lower rib cage. And then bring your knees up and toward your chest. One hand onto each knee, but still with this awareness of this center of the torso, breathing in. And as you exhale, let the knees fall in toward your body, not pulling hard, just letting them drop down and relaxing through the solar plexus. Inhale, feel your belly expand with the breath. Exhale. The action of your belly dropping back, allow the knees to move a little closer. Okay, taking a couple more breaths like this. And then let's keep one knee in and let the other foot rest on the floor. Bringing the hands behind the thigh, or you can do this without holding on. Lift and lower the leg. So we're just looking for a little bit of stretch in the back of the leg. Breathing in and exhale. You can keep your hands on this area if you find it helpful. And then leaving the leg in the air. Again, you can hold on or not as you circle the ankle around one way and then the other way. Okay. And then pressing the heel toward the ceiling, engage the abdominal muscles gently. Draw in with the lower rib cage and down through the lower back. And we'll slowly lower that leg to the ground. If you get partway there and you need to bend the leg to bring the foot down, that's fine, or you can lower it straight all the way down. And then letting that leg rest on the ground, reach out through the heel and take the same side arm and reach it up either overhead if that's comfortable for your shoulder or out to the side if that's better. You want to make sure that you're not straining. Reaching in whatever direction down through the heel, either out to the side or overhead with the arm. Feel how as you lift up, there's a little hollow coming into that area of the solar plexus. Breathe into that hollow. Exhale. Be aware of that movement of your breath around solar plexus. With your next exhalation, lifting the knee in, bringing the hand back to the knee, foot to the floor. And you can let both hands come onto the area of the lower rib cage again. And take a few breaths here, maybe noticing how one side feels versus the other side. Keep letting the lower rib cage, lower back soften with each exhale. And then let's bring the other knee up in toward the chest. You can, again, bring the hands behind the thigh or leave them resting on your body. And we'll reach up, breathing in. And then exhale, bending the knee and drawing it in. Continuing like that. And then eventually you can leave the leg in the air to circle the ankle, bringing some movement, lubrication into the ankle joint. And then heel pressing up toward the ceiling. Again, we're going to press down through the lower rib cage, down through the lower back, draw in with the lower rib cage, keeping some engagement in the core, just slowly lower the leg. When the leg comes to the ground, you can relax there and stretch out through the heel, reach up through the arm. And again, breathing into the space, center of your torso, solar plexus. Noticing any movement and continuing to soften the lower rib cage in the back, soften the lower back with each exhalation. And again, with your next exhalation, you draw the knee in toward the chest, hand to the knee, and then release the foot to the floor. And then if you feel like your hips have shifted one way or the other, you can lift them up and bring them down so they feel even. And then arms now rest out to the sides. We'll work with a gentle bridge pose. So we'll lift and lower the hips. And for you, it could be just lifting an inch off the ground, or it could be more like 6 inches. Imagine from the solar plexus that you're being lifted up and lowered down. So as you breathe in, lifting. As you exhale, lowering. Continue a few more. That feeling of expanding and lifting through the area of the solar plexus. Doesn't matter how high you lift, it's really more about that expansion and spaciousness. And this time, if you like, if it feels good for you, you can stay for a few breaths. Now, with the lower ribs free off the ground, you can maybe imagine the breath moving all the way around the rib cage. So all the way from that point where the ribs meet in the center, around the lower rib cage, all around into the bottom ribs and the lower back. If it feels like too much to hold, you can either keep moving in and out of the pose or simply come down and rest. And when you're ready, letting the body release back to the ground. Pause here for a moment. And simply be aware of this area around the lower rib cage and whatever sensations you're noticing whatever you're aware of. Be present with that. So this area, the solar plexus area and all around corresponds to our personal power. Right? And the element that governs it is fire. So we're fanning the flame of our inner fire, our inner power with some of these practices today. So we'll do one more here, which is a twist, and you can either have the arms on the ground or you can bring the hands, again, fingertips resting in that little pocket between the rib cage, or between the two sides of your rib cage. And so either arms on the ground or here, we'll let the knees go one way, the head can twist the other way, and you'll feel how the rib cage shifts. Come back to center. And the other way. So your hands will just slide over the ribs as the ribs shift. Let's work with the breath here. So we're actually only moving on the exhalation. So you can inhale here in the center. Your hands are on your solar plexus. Feel that. Inhale, exhale. You're moving the knees to the side. The hands will slide on the rib cage. Stay here and inhale. Feel the lower ribs expand, and then exhale, come back to center. You'll stay in the center and inhale. And then you'll twist the other way, stay there. You're inhaling here. Exhaling back to center, so the pattern is exhale as you move. Inhale when you're stationary. Your breath may be shorter or longer than mine. Follow your own breath rhythm. Right, and then eventually coming back to the center. Again, you might just lift the hips a few inches to bring the spine back into alignment, and then knees to chest, and you can draw the knees forward and back again. Just as we did earlier in the practice, exhaling as you come in. And there's no pulling with your hands, just let them rest there, let gravity bring the knees in. Even if that's only just the tiniest movement, let your breath start to do the work. So knees are in, and as I breathe in, my breath is pushing my legs away, and as I breathe out, I'm allowing the breath to kind of pull my knees in. So as I engage the core, I'm squeezing in a little, and the knees come closer. Great. And then gradually let your feet release to the ground. And we're going to come to sit. You can roll over onto your side. Use your opposite hand as support. And come up to a seated position. So you can sit on a chair or you can sit on the floor. And if you're sitting on the floor, I might recommend a cushion or a folded blanket to lift the hips just a little bit. So the lower the knees are in relation to the hips, the easier it is to sit. Now, if cross-legged is comfortable for you, great. If not, then just go ahead and stretch your legs out in front of you or grab a chair, edge of the bed or whatever is handy. So let's bring the palms together just in front of the solar plexus. If your hands are a bit apart at the bottom, that's okay, because that's more like the flame. In fact, I have a little flame behind me, so you kind of see how the flame usually goes wider and then goes narrower at the top. So you can make that kind of shape in front of the solar plexus. And take a moment with the hands in this position and your breath focused on this area. To imagine a fire in front of you. It could be a little campfire or a wood stove. fireplace, fire. And as you breathe into your power center, into your third chakra, the area of the solar plexus, you might imagine what in your life you'd like to purify. You'd like to take to the purifying fires to release. So it could be something you'd like to transform in your life, some way of being. It might be that there's a closet that you want to clean out and purify. Maybe you'd like to do a fast or an internal cleanse. So whatever it is that you see you'd like to release or purify, as you imagine that, you can bring the hands into this open gesture as if you're offering that to the fire. Try that a few times. So whatever it wants to be purified, to be released, to be offered into the fire, to be cleansed, to be released. You take that and release. And then coming back, hands to the heart or to the solar plexus. I have my assistant here. And then we'll place one hand just on the solar plexus, and we'll do a little bit of a breath technique to bring more awareness to this area. So with one hand on the solar plexus, my little assistant here is trying to help me find that. We're going to do a breath technique where you breathe in through your mouth, breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. So, you're going to breathe in through the nose, and when you breathe out through your mouth, you're going to make the tiniest little hole with your lips. Slow the breath down. So you're breathing in through your nose, exhale, slowing the breath down. Feeling your rib cage come together in the front as you exhale. And then the expansion with your inhale. You don't have to breathe particularly deeper than normal. Just bring your awareness to this area. And if you can feel movement into the back part of your lower rib cage too, you might bring some attention there. And then allow the breath to return to normal. You can release the hands to the legs or wherever they're comfortable. Take a few breaths and notice head to toe how your body's feeling now after a few minutes of focusing on the breath, focusing on some gentle movement. Just take a little stock of what you notice, what you're aware of. And then let's bring the hands together at the heart. And as if we could take that flame from the solar plexus and lift it and send the light of the fire out all around us. Each one of us taking the light of the fire in the center of the solar plexus, lifting it up and creating an aura around us of that light. The fire purifies, it gives us light, its heat warms and motivates us. Good, one more time, and then bringing the hands back together at the heart. And the heels of the hands at the solar plexus and the fingertips near the heart. Feeling how our power and heart connect. And when our power is infused with the love and generosity of our heart, then our potential is boundless. Namaste. Thank you, Chai. Thank you for that wonderful help. Have a lovely day. Chai says namaste.